Okay, let's go.
Have you ever felt like you're playing a game, but you never got the rule book? Well, that's what we're talking about today. We're going to uncover some of life's simplest but most powerful secrets, the ones hiding right there in plain sight. I mean, it's a feeling we all know, right? You're juggling work, relationships, trying to be happy, and it can just feel impossibly complex. Like we're all missing some secret manual. But what if I told you that manual has been right in front of us the whole time? And that right there is the heart of it. The problem isn't that life is actually that complicated. It's that we insist on looking for complicated answers, while life itself is basically screaming simple truths at us. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll talk about the complexity we create ourselves. Then we'll dive into life's weird counterintuitive rules. After that, we'll look at your brain's hidden programs, learn some simple math for huge results, and finally, we'll put it all together into a 3-part cheat code for life. Okay, let's jump right into part 1. We human beings, we're obsessed with complexity. We seem to think that if a problem feels big, the solution must be just as intricate. But that's hardly ever the case. Just think about it for a second. What's the best diet advice? Really? Eat real food. Move your body. The best relationship advice. Listen and actually care. The secret to success. Work consistently on something that matters. But simple feels, well, it feels boring, doesn't it? It doesn't sell billion-dollar programs or make us feel special. So instead, we invent these ridiculously complicated systems, all while ignoring the obvious answers staring us in the face. All right, let's build on that, because this is where it gets really interesting. Life often operates on rules that go completely against our gut instincts. The most important things in life, they just don't respond to brute force. Nope, they require a totally different approach. This is something people call the backwards law. The more desperately you try to force something, whether it's sleep or creativity or even love, the faster it runs away from you. You just can't strong-arm happiness into your life. The key isn't to be lazy. It's what you could call relaxed action. You still do the work, but you do it without that white-knuckle death grip on the outcome. This is just a perfect way to think about the paradox of control. We try so hard to manage every little detail of our lives, but life always throws a curveball. The ancient Stoics had a really simple solution for this. They said, focus only on what you can truly control, your own actions and your own reactions. That's it. You're here to master the ride, not the entire ocean. And here we go. This is probably the biggest paradox of them all, chasing happiness. We think, oh, if I just get that new job or that new relationship, then I'll finally be happy. But it's a trap. Psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill. No matter what happens, good or bad, we tend to drift back to our baseline level of happiness. So here's the secret. Happiness isn't a goal. It's a byproduct. It's the thing that shows up when you're focused on meaningful work and personal growth, not when you're chasing it down the street. Okay, so now let's turn inward. If you think your brain is this perfectly rational, objective supercomputer, well, you're in for a bit of a surprise. It's actually more like a super fast, incredibly emotional, and heavily biased pattern-matching machine. So get this, most of your decisions, we're talking about 90% of them, are made by your emotional brain. Your logical mind, it isn't the one driving the car. It's more like the narrator in the passenger seat, coming up with all these perfectly logical reasons for a trip your gut already decided to take 5 minutes ago. And here's why. It's because your emotional brain processes information about 500,000 times faster than your logical brain. It's not even a fair fight. Before you can even consciously think through a problem, your emotions have already processed millions of tiny signals and made a call. That gut feeling you get, that's not magic. That's data processing on a massive scale. On top of all that, your brain runs on dozens of cognitive biases. Think of them like Instagram filters for reality. You've got confirmation bias, which makes you see only what you already believe. You can't just turn these filters off. But just knowing they exist, that's a superpower. It lets you pause for a second and ask, wait, am I seeing reality right now, or am I just looking through my filter? And this might be one of the biggest mind benders of them all. Your memories are not perfect, pristine recordings of the past. Nope. Every single time you recall an event, you actually change it a little bit. Your memory is more like a story that you're constantly re-editing, not a documentary that you're just rewatching. So now that we kind of get the weird, paradoxical rules of the game and our brain's strange wiring, how do we actually build a better life? Well, the answer isn't that complicated. It actually lies in a few simple but incredibly powerful mathematical ideas. You probably heard of this one, the Pareto principle, and it is literally everywhere. 20% of your friends probably bring you 80% of your joy. 20% of your work tasks produce 80% of your actual value. The secret to life isn't to just do more stuff. It's to figure out what that vital 20% is and then double down on it. Everything else, most of it is just noise. Okay, every single habit you have, good or bad, follows this exact 3-step loop. There's a cue, which is the trigger, that leads to a routine, which is the action itself, and that delivers a reward, the payoff. But here's the kicker. You can't just delete a bad habit. It doesn't work. The trick is to keep the cue and the reward, but to consciously swap out the routine in the middle for something better. Small, tiny choices. They feel so insignificant in the moment, don't they? But the math of compounding is just undeniable. If you get just 1% better at something each day, you'll be nearly 38 times better in a year. It's wild. Real, lasting success isn't about making some giant leap. It's about the compound interest on all of your tiny daily choices. Okay, let's put this all together. We've talked about the paradoxes, our funny brains, the simple math. Now let's distill all of that down into one simple, powerful cheat code for living. This is it. This is the operating system. Number 1, accept what you can't control. Stop fighting with traffic, the weather, or other people. It's a waste of energy. Number 2, master what you can control. Pour all that saved energy into your own actions and your own reactions. And number 3, compound tiny improvements every single day. Apply that magic of compounding by making small, positive choices. That's the whole game. So, now you get it. You understand how your brain really works, why happiness seems to hide from you, and where your true power actually lies. You have the manual. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?